everyone. Welcome back to Afterglow, episode 21. I've discussed a lot of games so far that I really enjoy, and we're going to be breaking that streak today. I'm going to be discussing a game that I absolutely hate from my childhood. Before we get into it, though, I'm going to be kind of serious here for a minute. I'm going to give this episode a dedication to the late Armake 21. Armake passed away in January of this year, and the dude was hilarious. He was famous on YouTube, early YouTube, for the angry reviewer trope. James Rolfe, angry video game nerd, made it famous, but Armake did it really well. And like I said, if you don't mind some explicit content of a guy raging at old video games, go back, go on YouTube, look up Armake 21, watch some of his stuff, including his review of Total Recall, which is one of his early reviews. It is absolutely hilarious. But like I said, I hate the fact that Armake's gone, but he brought me and so many other people so many laughs over the years, and I just want to thank him for all the time that he spent making me and a whole bunch of other people laugh. So, with that being said, I'm going to cut to some of the horrible music from this video game, and then we're going to talk about some Total Recall on the NES. And welcome back to my memories of this awful video game. So, I had rented this game as a kid because I had seen a good chunk of Total Recall. My dad kind of pulled me away during certain parts of it. He had screened the movie and then let me watch it, but did not let me watch certain parts that were either excessively gory or excessively fleshy. I try to keep the show very PG for the most part, so I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, I really liked the movie. I thought it was awesome, and to this day, it's one of my favorite Schwarzenegger movies. So I saw the game for the NES, and I'm immediately like, I gotta rent it and play it, right? I didn't, think at the time, this is a really weird take for an NES game, because you didn't see many adult-oriented movies translated to NES games. There were a few. This one, RoboCop, comes to mind, which I actually like that game. I know not very many other people do, but if you go back and listen to my episode on that one, I enjoy that game. But, I think Dirty Harry might be another one. Anyway, on the Total Recall. Got it home, popped it in, and the title screen looked pretty good, to be honest. And then you hit start. And, it's awful. The first thing that happens is that this midget pulls you in an alley, and you beat the crap out of a midget. And another one shows up, and you beat the crap out of him, and you just keep beating midgets until you get out of the alley. And, it's frustrating. You can walk into a movie theater, you watch the credits of the game to get an extra life, which, good God, you need. You need all the lives you can get. You leave the theater, there's cars driving by there shooting at you, there's SWAT teams attacking you, there's a fence with holes in it with, on objects protruding from the holes that will do damage to you. That's as far as I'm going to go, but it looks very adult. I'll leave it at that. You got a guy chucking bombs at you, but finally you make it to your apartment where your wife does attack you, and you have to beat her within a certain time frame. And if you don't, another enemy appears in the doorway. It's a guy played by Michael Ironside in the movie, but he is infinitely shoots at you with machine gun fire. One bullet will kill you, and you can't really get past him unless you beat her within that time limit. But I managed to get through all that, and I got to what is, in my opinion, one of the cooler moments of the game. In the movie, they've got this hallway that you walk through that detects weaponry, and it gives you like an X-ray view of everyone walking through it. And they replicate this on the NES really well. It's a cool effect. But you get through that, and then you go through what looks like the subway area before you go to this deserted building area. And whenever I was a kid, that deserted building area was as far as I could make it. And I haven't been talking for very long, right? A minute or two. That's halfway through the game. Like, they made up for the fact that the game is really, really short by making it really, really difficult. And the game will drive you nuts because there's a sound effect that'll play before every stage. Every time you lose a life, and you'll lose a lot, and you'll have to restart the game many a time, you will hear this sound effect. And you think, oh, that's not really annoying. It's not that bad, is it? No, you hear it time after time after time. And you go through the game, and you make a mistake, and you die in a minute or less. And you go and you play some more, and you might make a little bit of progress, but then maybe you'll make it all the way to that abandoned building, and some random hobo kills you, and then all of a sudden, and the game would drive you nuts to the point to where, it's not very often in childhood, whenever you had an NES, that you would in anger stop playing a game just because, if you ran a game, that's your fun for the weekend because you've only got 3 or 4 other games that you have torn through left and right. Playing this game, it made me want to go outside, and mom and dad be like, but it's 115 degrees outside. I don't care, I want to go outside. Maybe you'll die of heat stroke. It's better than playing this game anymore. It's so bad. It's awful, but you know what? Apparently I like suffering, because I do really like Total Recall, and I wanted to go to Mars in this movie. So I wanted to beat this game, and I would think about it as I got older, and I wanted to play it again. I couldn't find a copy anywhere. Like that used rental store that I got a lot of my games from, I never managed to buy it from there. So I played this game the only way I could figure out how to play it again.
Do what you want, 'cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate. Yar, har, fiddle-dee-dee. Being a pirate is a recipe. Do what you want, 'cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate. You are a pirate.
And a lot of times after I play that clip in this show, I have some kind of way of justifying pirating this game. You know what? Here's my justification for pirating this game. They got all the money that they deserved, okay? That $2 or $3 I paid to rent this game once, maybe twice if I was a glutton for punishment, that's all they deserved. So I don't care. They can... I don't care. I will pirate the heck out of this game. So I pirated it, and I tried playing it, and again, I got stomped. So you know what? I'm not a proud individual. I cheated. I turned on cheats in this game. Primarily invincibility, just to be able to go to Mars. And by God, I got to go to Mars. And I'll tell you what, it looked kind of cool. It was a cool cutscene. And then there's a stage where you can get sucked out the windows. And even if you are invincible, that kills you. So, thankfully, I only got sucked out the window once. I figured out what was going on, and I did not get sucked out again. And after that, there is this god-awful overhead racing segment. And the entire time, this game has been side-scroller with some punching and some shooting for the most part. And then out of nowhere, overhead in a car. What is going on? And that's probably the most frustrating part of the game, because you got guys taking pot shots at you. There's mines. It's nuts. But after that, you're pretty well in the end segment of the game. You go through the diner that's also kind of a brothel in the game. Then you go through the mines and fight one of the easiest bosses I've ever fought after the ridiculousness of that racing level. It's not even really racing, but it felt like it. Where the guy sticks his head out and you can jump up and shoot at his head, but if you're at the very back of the level, he can't touch you. But you get through that, and then you go through the. I don't know what they called it. It was like this core thing with these big pillars with lightning, and the lightning can hurt you. But if you're invincible, you don't have to worry about it. Because I'm a dirty cheater. I don't care. I just wanted to beat the game. All right. But I got through the game, and like I said, got to the ending, and the ending was a little different from the movie because in the ending, a volcano erupted and let all the oxygen into Mars, which supposedly made the surface livable, and that was pretty well the end of the game. Up to that point, though, it followed the movie fairly closely. It's one of the few positives I'll give it. If I'm going to give the game two positives, one, the X-ray part was kind of cool, and two, it did more or less follow the movie a lot closer than a lot of other video games based off of movies or TV shows did. But outside of that, this game's awful. And I'll probably never go back to it again. It's one of those games to where, like, I have no want to play it now that I've actually finally beaten it. And I don't care if I cheated to beat it, but I definitely don't have a want to go back and play it again. So with that being said, I'm going to leave you with a little bit more music from the game. And if you want to put yourself through misery, then go find this game and give it a shot. But unless you find it on eBay for like a buck or two at this point, I would advocate pirating it. Till then, we'll see you on the next episode of Afterglow.